Welcome,
Yeah.
everybody. And let me get, whoops, there we go. You guys see that okay?
Yep.
Yep, okay, great. So welcome, everybody. My name is Judy Danaher, and our class tonight is on foundational wellness and natural intelligence. This is a new presentation for us that we are loving. We've only had it for a few weeks. And we've gotten great reviews. Mike and I are diamond leaders with doTERRA. We've been with doTERRA about 2.5 years, and we are feel like we truly are living our dream life. So before we get started, a couple of quick things. We really are going to try to keep this to 45 minutes. If you have a pen and paper handy so you can take notes, I think that you might appreciate that as we move through a lot of information. And there will be a few slides that you might also think, oh, I want to take a screenshot of this. Please feel free. Happy to do that. And also throughout the presentation, we'd like everyone to mute themselves and let's use the chat feature. And we want to keep that part open. So we do want to make it interactive, but keeping it in the chat keeps the presentation going, keeps it from getting quite so long. Okay, so, oops. So here's what we're covering tonight. Before we dive in, let's just take a quick look at this. Our intention for you as you leave this workshop is to feel hopeful. Okay, that's what we love most is to give you hope, to empower you with solutions, and we hope that this will bless you and your family. We're going to talk about so many people are struggling with their health and why it's really not your fault, everything that's coming at us, and we'll look at what essential oils actually are and why doTERRA is in a category all its own. We'll show you simple foundational tools that you can walk away with real solutions for your home and for your family and tools you can actually use right away. So this is Mike and I down in the lower corner and some of our other team members. Before we go any further, I just want to share my heart with you and why we're here. Excuse me. Before doTERRA, I was on medical grade supplements. I had three autoimmune diseases. I was struggling with brain fog, low stamina. I wasn't sleeping well, and I was just developed neuropathy in my left foot. When I went to see my doctor, she recommended adding another supplement that would add $125
Me.
to already really high budget of $400. And so um, I was just not able to do that. And I told her that. So I left very discouraged and I felt very frustrated. I was in my 60s. I still am in my 60s. But at that point, I was like, so is this just what life is in your 60s now? Like you just keep getting ailments and getting worse, and then there's no hope. So my story has been a powerful journey of healing that includes doTERRA essential oils and supplements. And I'm going to get to the rest of that a little bit further in the presentation. And I'm not here because we're doing something wrong. Okay. We are here because we found something that actually works. And I haven't stopped wanting to tell everyone about it. So we live, whoops, in a world that is just changing faster and faster. And it's something really to pause and worth thinking about. The world moves so fast that we're moving further and further away from what's natural. We're moving from artificial light and ultra processed food to being the normal ways we manage our health. We're surrounded by things our bodies were never designed to handle. And this isn't about guilt, you guys. Most of us are doing the very best that we can. We're busy. We have children, busy lives, lots of demands. And while our world has changed dramatically, our bodies haven't. Okay. So I believe that many of the health challenges that we face come from that gap between what our bodies need and the world that we live in. And now we're surrounded by artificial substitutes for nearly everything, including the ways we manage our health. Often we turn to synthetic medications for everything. We just don't know any different. But the good news is you don't have to change everything overnight. But tonight isn't about changing everything. It's about closing that gap just a little bit at a time with tools that are natural, effective, and affordable. So, what is natural intelligence? It's simply but powerful idea that our body is not broken. It's not failing us. Our body is incredible, and every single day it's working hard for us. Our body regulates our temperature, it fights infection, it heals a cut. It does thousands of things every single day without us even thinking twice about it or asking it to do these things. Natural intelligence is all about honoring that. I truly believe that our body can heal itself given the right tools. It's about supporting what our body already knows what to do. And when you support your body with tools from nature, that's when you activate your natural intelligence and things really start to change. So, this is the doTERRA Wellness Pyramid. It's the framework that I want you to hold on to for everything we talk about tonight. Now, the wellness pyramid is like a map. It's a hierarchy of health, and each level builds on the one below it. So at the base of everything your body needs to function is nutrition, digestion, movement, and metabolism. Okay, the higher we go, the more reactive the care becomes. At the very top sits acute medical intervention. Excuse me, and modern medicine is generally remarkable there. Excuse me, I'm sorry. When we think of emergencies like broken bones and surgery, I'm so grateful for the times that we've needed these. I mean, our 5-year-old grandson just had heart surgery today. Now, it wasn't open heart, but it was such an anxious day. I mean, heart surgery is pretty major, and they were able to do it laparoscopically, but I was so grateful for modern medicine that they could easily take care of what his heart needed. But here's where we found the gap. Modern medicine was built to manage symptoms. It's not designed to build health. Okay. So why what you've been doing might not be working. Most of us spend all of our time and energy on the upper levels of this pyramid while the foundation quietly crumbles underneath. And a crumbling foundation doesn't stay quiet forever. That's exactly what happened to me, you guys. And here's what happens when those root needs go unmet. They become root causes. So, like fatigue, brain fog, hormonal disruption, could be digestive struggles, mood swings. These things don't just happen, they come from a foundation that hasn't been tended to. Again, this isn't about blame or guilt. This is just how our body works. And the great thing is that once you understand it, the path forward becomes much clearer. So the reactive approach is the check engine light. This is one of my favorite ways to show what's been happening and how most of us approach our health. So if we think about our car, when the check engine light comes on, what does it mean? It means something under the hood needs attention. Now, I am guilty that sometimes the check engine light comes on and I ignore it because it depends, right? But the car is signaling that something is wrong. Now, imagine that you went to your mechanic and their solution was to put a Band-Aid over the light. Okay, is the problem solved? No, you can't see it anymore, but the issue is still underneath. That's a lot of what conventional medicine has been trained to do with chronic health symptoms. And it's not because doctors don't care, they absolutely do care. But the system was built for managing symptoms and not addressing root causes. So, how do we get to the root cause? How do we be active, activate our natural intelligence, and actually support the body's ability to heal itself? Well, that's where essential oils come in. So, how many of you guys, you can comment in the chat, how many are already essential oil users? You're familiar with them, maybe, or you're familiar, but you don't use them. I'd love to know where you guys are at with this. Um, so, essential oils, if you think about if you've ever crushed a mint leaf, between your fingers, or maybe like if you're like me, you go to a
Llama
grocery
así como
store and you
hasta
want
las
to buy
3
cilantro,
de la
but the what you are wait, when you look at the cilantro, you've got
pues
cilantro.
también me da eso en esta pierna hasta aquí.
Okay, let's see if we
Necesito, no, eso no es la ropa preta, sino
mute somebody. There we go. If you are can crush the cilantro, then you can tell that cilantro, not parsley. I should be able to tell by it looks, but I never am able to, and I just want to make sure. Well, the smell that we get from the cilantro and the mint, that instant burst of scent that we get, that is the essential oil in the plant. Those are microscopic oil sacs inside the plant, and they are the plant's immune system. Is that cool? It's defense against fungal, viral, and bacterial infections. When we carefully extract those compounds, we get essential oils. I just love that. So here's what I find remarkable. When those plants molecules meet your body recognizes them. Essential oils don't force your body to do something unnatural. They support what your body already knows how to do. And what does it already know how to do? It knows how to heal itself. So they're not overriding your biology, they're communicating with it. They're giving your cells the message you know how to heal. Here's the support to do it. So think of them less like a medication and more like a really intelligent conversation partner for your cells. Now, here's how they work. And here's something that surprises a lot of people about essential oils. And it's one of the things I love most about them. Essential oils don't work the same way in every person. And that's not a flaw, that's a feature. Your body decides where support is needed, not the oil. The oil provides intelligent input, and your body determines how to use it. That's why one oil can support two different people in two completely different ways. For example, one person might use adaptive to calm anxiety, and another uses it when they're feeling low and depleted and it lifts them. Same oil, different results because the body uses it for what it needs. It is so important that you understand that not all oils on the market are equal. There truly is a difference. Now, you can walk into Walmart or a health food store and find 20 different brands of essential oils, and they might be varying prices. So, why does brand and quality matter? Because any oil, pure or synthetic, will enter your body, which means if what you're putting on your skin, diffusing in your air, or taking internally is not actually what it claims to be, you're not getting the benefit and you might be getting something harmful. doTERRA created a purity standard called CPTG, Certified Pure Tested Grade. Every single oil goes through 54 layers of testing before it ever reaches the consumer. No fillers, no synthetic ingredients, and absolutely no dilution. You might think I say these things because I share doTERRA products, but it's the other way around. I share doTERRA because I trusted it first. I had phenomenal results when I started using their products. And because I researched it, I love that doTERRA has 18 doctors and scientists on staff. We're backed by science and research. I used it and I saw what it did for my family before I ever introduced it to anyone else. So whether or not we realize it, every time we purchase something, we are voting with our dollars. It matters to me to put my money behind companies that do things right, ethically, responsibly, and with real integrity. And I love that doTERRA operates like this. Now, let me make this real with a quick story. Okay. A friend's nieces were spending the night at their grandma's house, and they always put doTERRA lavender on their chest before bed. It helped them relax and sleep. Well, Grandma had run out of doTERRA lavender and she grabbed another brand from a health food store labeled Pure, and she figured lavender is lavender. The girls woke up with chemical burns. These are actual pictures of where the lavender was put, and they still had scars over a year later. That story really stays with me. And here's the thing that really drives it home. Can you imagine if those girls had taken that oil internally instead of using it on their chest? This is exactly why internal use only applies to our doTERRA oils and why purity isn't just a preference, it's actually a protection. doTERRA oils are safe at every age, from newborns to great grandparents, and that's not a claim. That's the result of relentless testing. That's what CPTG means in practice. You'll receive information when you get your products about safety and uses for all ages. Now, this is really important to me and is very dear to my heart, and it's the way that doTERRA sources our products. It's called co-impact sourcing, and I just find it genuinely remarkable. So, for most of human history, if you think about where people lived and what they had access to, we really only had access to what grew in our own region globally. Think about what grew in their garden or their climate, their corner of the world. A lot for many, many centuries, we didn't have access or easy access to things from other parts of the world. So our natural medicine cabinet was limited by geography. Well, doTERRA sources oils where the plants grow best, okay, in their native environments, where the chemistry of the plant is at its peak. So lavender is from Bulgaria and France, frankincense from Somaliland, copaiba from Brazil's Amazon forest. Um, let's see, tea tree and geranium are from Kenya. Each sourced through long-term partnerships with farming communities, and many of these communities, you guys, were struggling with even basic necessities before partnering with doTERRA. Now they have fair wages. They earn about 10 times more than they would if they weren't partnering with doTERRA. doTERRA provides equipment and training. doTERRA has partnered with them and their communities and provided clean water. They provide schools. They provided medical clinics. They've even built hospitals. The impact on nearly 500,000 people is literally changing generational poverty. So just think about that. When you buy a doTERRA kit, you're getting the best medicine from all over the world in a box. And isn't that so amazing? It is such a gift, you guys. And when you put lavender on your child's feet tonight, think about the farmer on the other side of the world whose child is able to go to school. Just that ability in a third world nation where poverty is so prevalent, if that child can go to school, that can break the cycle of poverty. And they also have access to clean water, to medical care because that bottle was purchased. That's what we mean when we say doTERRA is a movement. It's not just a company. Now, the Roseman University study was a very interesting study that doTERRA didn't even know was happening. Roseman did it completely, conducted the research completely on their own. But what they did is Roseman University profiled multiple brands of essential oils and studied their effects on human cells. Well, guess what? doTERRA oils were the only oils found to therapeutically active in cell growth, metabolic health, and healthy inflammatory response. That's pretty exciting. The competing brands had minimal effects, and some other brands actually triggered inflammation and other harmful responses in the body. So the Roseman University conclusion was the therapeutic potential of an essential oil is entirely dependent on the quality of its composition. Sourcing and processing and testing is so, so important. And at doTERRA, this equals purity. That's science's way of saying doTERRA doesn't have any real competitors. That's because no one else sources and tests the way doTERRA does. It is in a category of its own. Now, let's talk about how we actually use essential oils. It's very practical because essential oils are generally so simple to use. When I first started with the oils, it felt very complicated to me and I was a little bit afraid to use them. That part of me is gone. My belief is very high now. And let me just share 3 different ways that we can use essential oils. The first is aromatic. You can breathe them in. You can use a diffuser that will fill the whole room with benefits. You're cleaning the air, you're shifting the mood, or you're making your home smell incredible. I also like to just take an oil and put a couple drops in the palm of my hand, and I'll rub it together, just like Mike's doing. Put it over my mouth, my nose, and just breathe in deeply. Okay. Another way is topical. You can apply them right to your body where your body needs support. If your neck hurts, put on your neck. Your stomach is upset, apply it to the stomach. And it's direct and it's very effective. And internally, I use oils internally every day. And this is what I want to be really specific about. This only applies to doTERRA oils. Look for on your bottle of oil, if it says supplement facts, I don't know if you can see that, but if it says supplement facts on it, then it is safe to be taken internally. If the supplement fact label is there, then this oil is food grade and safe to take in a glass of water, under the tongue, or in a veggie capsule. Quality and purity are everything, and that's precisely why internal use is doTERRA only recommendation. So I'll just take my oil and I'll just put a couple drops on my tongue or under my tongue and just swish it around, and then I swallow some water afterwards. Some oils that can be taken internally are considered hot oils, and so you want to put them in an empty veggie cap, just a couple drops. And just so you guys know, one dose of an essential oil is 1 to 2 drops. So several doses throughout the day is better than one large dose once or twice. Okay. Okay. So if you guys have any experiences with essential oils, again, let's hear your stories in the chat. Is there anything we can share now, Mike? You want to unmute yourself, hon?
Several folks use oils, but not regularly.
Okay.
And some know about oils but don't use them, but I think they're open to learning more.
Okay, awesome. It's so exciting. Okay, so what we have on the screen here are the top 10 oils that I believe every home should have. This is a great place to start. It's like doing a medicine cabinet makeover. I feel so empowered as a mom and as a grandma to have these tools when issues come up. We just spent 4 days taking care of two of our grandchildren last week. And it was a 5-year-old and a 9-month-old. And once you know it, as soon as the parents left, the 9-month-old got congested and was pulling at his ear. And we're like, oh, great. So we had some Breathe essential oil. Now he's 9 months old, very safe, but I just used it very diluted. I put 1 drop in the palm of my hand and I put a little bit of baby lotion on there. And I just mixed it in and then I put it on his chest and down his spine. And then for his ear, tea tree is the top oil that I would use on the outside, always on the outside, never on the inside of the ear. I didn't have tea tree. So I looked it up to see what else could be used, and basil could be used. So I did have basil. Um, and so I put just a drop of basil in the palm of my hand again with some baby lotion, and I just rubbed it around the outside of his ear. Now, how did I know to do that? Well, I was watching him. Well, first of all, Mike and I have 9 kids, so I have lots of experience with kids and ear infections. As I was watching him on the second day we were there, he was like, his cheeks were starting to get pink. And when we put him to bed, he didn't go down real easily. And then that night he woke up in the middle of the night. And so we're like, okay, and he's kind of pulling his ear. So he didn't want to take a bottle, but he would suck his thumb while I rocked him. So I put that on the outside of his ear. He stopped crying and went back to sleep. It's like so empowering to have this, you guys. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but I want to go through a couple of them. I gave that example of how I just use oils, on the spot like that. Another really popular oil is lavender. It's often the first oil that people fall in love with. It's super gentle and super safe. And once you understand it, I think you'll feel more confident to be able to use that frequently. If you've ever struggled to fall asleep, or maybe your mind won't slow down at night, you can diffuse lavender or rub it on the bottom of your feet. If your skin is irritated from a bug bite or a burn or just needs calming, lavender is your go-to. Now, I'm allergic to mosquitoes. And so if I get a mosquito bite, lavender is the only thing. Even hydrocortisone will not calm down that bite. Lavender is the only thing that, okay, I used to use a hot spoon. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but it immediately takes away the inflammation, but lavender is much more pleasant to use. So seriously, within seconds, that burn is gone. Um, so, okay, let's talk about digestion. It's another one of my favorites. I have three autoimmune diseases and celiac is one of them. And so I'm always dealing with gut issues, or I was. Okay, well, digestion is also one of the first oils I had a success story with, and it had nothing to do with my stomach. Mike and I were getting ready to go on a cruise, and I get motion sickness. So I called my doTERRA rep and said, "We're going on a cruise." It was in like a couple of days. Do you have anything I could use for motion sickness? And she said, yes, the Digestin roller bottle that you have. So it came like this. It was the Digestin mixed in here with a fractionated coconut oil. So it was already mixed. She said, just keep rubbing that around your ear. I did that and I used the pressure bands, the C bands, kept those on my wrists. I had no motion sickness at all. It was like phenomenal. So these are really good oils just to digestion is also excellent for your stomach. We call it the oil of repentance. Like if you've eaten too much, you've eaten something new, or you're traveling and have stomach upset, this is what you want. You can put a couple of drops on your tongue or just rub it on the outside of your tummy and it helps settle everything down. Okay, so I'm not going to go into any more stories about essential oils for sake of time, but I will say that essential oils work best in a nourished body. Okay, so um, essential oils are very powerful, but they do work best in a body that's properly nourished. And so think of it like this. You can plant the same seed in two places. Okay, one in a dry, depleted soil and one in rich, nourished ground. Same seed, but you're going to get very different results. So if your body is exhausted or depleted or missing key ingredients or nutrients, it's like that dry soil. The support is there, but your body doesn't have what it needs to fully respond. So the real question becomes, how do we create the conditions for your body to actually thrive? So health at its core is more simple than most people think. Every health challenge is essentially comes down to one or both of two things, that is toxicity and deficiency. So too much of the wrong things or not enough of the right things, and that's it. It's very simple, doesn't always make it easy, right? Here's what not enough actually looks like in real life. Okay. Most of us can relate to this kind of meal. Okay. And there's no shame in this. We have busy days. We're running from one thing to the next. And sometimes this is just what works. We got to get the kids fed or the family fed. And so this isn't about judgment at all. This is about reality. And believe me, Mike and I have been there. But here's what we need to understand. 9 out of the 10 of the most impactful risk factors are tied to poor nutrition. So about 70% of routine health problems stem just from diet. So even when we're doing our very best, this kind of pattern over time can create inflammation, stress on the body, and long-term damage. And this is where people often feel stuck because you can't just flip a switch and change everything overnight. Sometimes we don't even know how. And the truth is, you just can't out supplement a poor lifestyle, but you can support your body while you're making changes. And so when you give your body whole food and highly absorbable nutrients, you're helping fill the gaps. You're helping your body handle stress better, reduce some of that inflammation, and function the way it was designed to, even on the days when life just isn't perfect. So this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about creating a foundation that supports you. So as you make small, realistic changes over time, your body actually has what it needs to respond and to improve. So you probably grew up hearing an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, that old saying did exist for a reason, and it really has some truth in it. Real food grown in healthy soil used to be packed with the vitamins and minerals our bodies needed to function and heal themselves. The food was the medicine. But it's so sad. Here's what happened. Research that was highlighted in the New York Times found that you'd need to eat 8 oranges today to get the same nutrients from just one orange 2 generations ago. That is from soil depletion, pesticides, genetic alterations. I mean, that's so sad. And what is the result of that now? 94% of people are deficient in two or more essential key nutrients. These are not optional nutrients, they are essential ones, and the ones your body cannot function optimally without. So now
Yeah.
some of you might thinking, I already take a multivitamin, but here's something to consider. Do you know if it's made from whole food ingredients and has your vitamin been clinically tested? If it contains synthetic ingredients like most brands do, it can be harmful. So I'm going to tell the rest of my story here in a minute, but I was on medical grade supplements and paying $400 a month, and I still was declining. And so I had no way of finding out if my supplements were clinically tested. I didn't know what the research was. I didn't know what the absorption rate was. I did know that I had bright yellow pea. And so I thought that was normal because that's what happens when we take supplements. Well, then I learned there was a difference. So the second root cause is toxicity. And this one is ugly, but it is really important. Environmental toxins are in the food we eat, they're in the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the cleaning and personal care products that we use every day. Now, most of us are doing our best, okay? And still, millions of people deal with fatigue, hormone disruption, brain fog, and focus issues, immune and breathing challenges, and digestive stress. But here's what I want you to hear. There is a lot that you can't control, but there's quite a bit you can, and especially inside your own home. Your liver, kidneys, gut, and lymphatic system are extraordinary detox machines, but they were designed for a world with far fewer synthetic compounds than the one we're currently living in. When those primary organs get overloaded, the backup systems kick in. Your skin and your lungs pick up the extra burden. So here's a vivid way to think about it. If you're dealing with ongoing skin issues like eczema, acne, unexplained breakouts, your body may literally be pooping or expelling toxins through your skin. You're not broken. Your system is just overwhelmed. And that's exactly where I was. I still was having breakouts. I still was struggling. So 74% of adults in America are overweight or obese. 50% of Americans are expected to have cancer in their lifetime. That is staggering. 77% of our young adults can't serve in the military because of mental or physical health reasons or drug use. 77%. That is huge. This is a systemic problem. It's not personal failure, okay? It's happening across our entire culture. That's why I'm passionate about what I'm teaching you here today. When we know better, we do better. So I want to pause here for a moment because this quote lands differently when you really sit with it for a second. Okay, the heart attack at 50 began at 20. The Alzheimer's at 70 started at 40. The aging you want tomorrow begins with the choices that we make today. That quote is from Dr. Bob Rako. Now, the cost is real. We're not here to pile on guilt or fear. We're here to shine a light on something that is true. Wellness isn't a destination you arrive at. Okay, it's a result of choices made consistently over time. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. You just have to start, okay, with something real, something simple, and something sustainable. So you've heard the saying, you are what you eat, and that here's the more accurate version, you are what you absorb. So imagine ordering a package online, okay, and the delivery driver parks in front of your house, but never takes your package out of the delivery van. The package was delivered technically, but it never got inside. So that's what happens with most supplements. You pay for nutrition that your body never actually uses. This is where doTERRA changes everything. So a popular supplement greens drink, many of you may have heard of, AG1. It's commonly sold everywhere, Costco especially. And it's been shown to have calcium that absorbs in your body at around 9%. Okay, in the same study, calcium in doTERRA's VMG Plus was shown to absorb at close to 100%. And here's why there is such a difference. Essential oils aren't just products in our supplements, they're part of the delivery system itself. So all of our supplements have essential oils in them. and they help open the door so the packages actually get inside and your cells can use what you're giving them. So let's talk now about our foundational wellness bundle. And let me just show you what 2 minutes of your morning can actually do. These three products are what we call the foundational wellness bundle, and they work together to address root causes at the cellular level. They affect the body's deficiencies, and together they fill nutritional gaps, repair your cellular environment, and rebuild your gut. So here's an overview, and then we're going to look at each one individually. VMG Plus is your nutritional foundation. That's the green box. It comes in an individual sachet. It's a green powder. It is whole food vitamins, minerals, and super greens, delivered so your body actually absorbs and uses them. When you mix it up, it's going to look like a really nasty green drink, but it tastes delicious, like pineapple and mango. Your omegas is your E Omega Plus. That's a yellow bottle. It's your omega-3, but it's smarter. Wild caught, protected from rancidity, and enhanced with wild orange essential oil in a way that changes everything about how it works in the body. And PB Restores, the green label, it's your gut reset. It's a 4-in-1 formula that doesn't just add good bacteria, it rebuilds the entire ecosystem. 2 minutes a day. Now let's look closer. Okay, VMG Plus and what it is. VMG Plus is your multivitamin on rocket fuel. It's extraordinary nutrition delivered in one scoop. Okay, one little sachet in about 8 to 10 ounces of water. Most of us eat the same 5 fruits and vegetables. Okay, I'm definitely guilty of that. But VMG Plus provides nutrients from over 90 varieties in one scoop. What makes it different is absorption. So using liposomal technology, meaning VMG Plus delivers nutrients in a form your cells recognize and use. So clinical trials showed 590% better absorption than standard supplements. 590%, with 91% of nutrients still present in the bloodstream 8 hours later. No wonder we can feel a difference. It also contains methylated B vitamins, so even people with MTHFR variations can effectively use this. I think of VMG Plus as part of my food budget, so Mike and I just rearranged what we were spending our money on so we could fit this into our budget. We simply aren't getting everything we need from today's food. I knew that by how I was feeling, and this helps fill the gaps with nutrition your body can actually use. One packet can even be split between younger kids, 4 and older, half a sachet, so it goes even farther than you might think. Now, VMG Plus has been scientifically researched. In a clinical trial, VMG Plus reduced C-reactive protein, the primary marker of inflammation throughout your body, by 25.8%. That is huge. And participants who took VMG Plus, listen to this, for just 6 weeks, reduced their biological age by 2 years. Now, that's not the birthday, it's the age their cells actually function at. That is exciting. That's real measurable change in just a matter of weeks. Okay, let's look at our omegas. E Omega Plus is your omega-3, but it's smarter, okay? Omega-3s are essential nutrients that your body cannot make on its own, and most people are deficient. And actually, most people are really high in omega-6s because of seed oils found in processed and fried food. But that deficiency can affect heart health, brain function, inflammation, mood, sleep, and energy. And I know my doctor always wanted me on omegas, and I could never stay with it because of that fishy burp. While most fish oils provide about 300 milligrams of omega-3s, E Omega Plus delivers 900 milligrams from wild-caught Nordic fish, tested for heavy metals, and protected from oxidation. Now, what makes it truly unique is the addition of wild orange essential oil. It helps keep the delicate oils fresh so that you swallow is actually what your body receives. And guess what? They're chewable with a fresh orange flavor. There's no fishy aftertaste and no fishy burp back. So I'm able to stay consistent with these. Okay, this visual from doTERRA's own research is one of the most compelling things I have seen in a long time. So think of your body as a house with light switches in every single room. Okay, the more lights that are on, the better your body can see, clean, and take care of itself. Fish oil alone activates about 33 of those switches, which is pretty significant, or gene pathways in the body. But fish oil with wild orange essential oil, nearly 1,000 switches or genes are turned on. 1,000. That is huge. Now, E-omegas have proven results. One example of how essential oils add to the omegas makes such a difference was in the significant improvements that were seen in leaky gut in the clinical trial. These results only appeared in people taking the combination. Fish oil alone didn't produce them. Now, another example was seen in the dramatic positive effects on the heart. Now, heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. I think that's a pretty common fact. It estimates 80% of those deaths are preventable. 80%. Now, that is significant. In a clinical study, the group that had the fish oil with the essential oil, participants, listen closely, this blows me away. Participants saw their resting heart rate drop by an amount that translates to 2 million fewer heartbeats per year. 2 million. That is such good support for our hearts. Their diastolic blood pressure also dropped by 6 points. That's massively less wear and tear on your heart. So just small, consistent choices really do make a massive difference over time. Now, PB Restore is our probiotic, and this is definitely my path. All three of these products have made a huge difference in my life. But did you know that your gut does far more than digest food? How many of you guys are already taking a probiotic? You can do a show of hands or you can pop it in the chat. I tried to stay on a probiotic. My doctor always wanted me to stay on one, and I never had good results. And so I just always went off of it. Okay, so your gut is far more than a digestive organ. It's headquarters for so much that happens in our body. It's our immune health, nutrient absorption, metabolism, inflammation, even our mood. Hormones are processed there. Our thyroid hormones are processed there. 90% of our serotonin is made there. And that's why many experts call it the body's second brain. There has been a clear brain-gut connection for decades. Studies have proven it. And what makes PB Restore unique is that it doesn't just add good bacteria, it rebuilds the entire ecosystem. I've had so much success with this product. It combines prebiotics to feed beneficial bacteria, probiotics to replenish them, excuse me, postbiotics to support healthy immune and inflammatory responses, but also bacteriophages to clear out harmful microbes. That's a very unusual ingredient. Most products do one of these things, but PB Restore does all four. It is a dual encapsulated design, which means that parts can open up in your stomach and the rest is actually going to make it into your small intestine and open up there where it's really hard to get that good flora, but we really need it there. And when your gut is healthy, everything works better. Your food, your supplements, and even your essential oils. Foundation first, always, you guys. Okay, so this is a 2-minute routine in the morning, and here's what real life looks like. Okay, I get up and I actually drink a quart of water with some electrolytes in it, and then I make our coffee, and I take my VMG Plus and the Omegas and the PB Restore right away. Okay, it gives my body the energy and the support that it needs for the busy lifestyle that we have. I do it before I sit down with anything else. It tastes really good. The VMG is easy to mix up and shake and to drink right down. My grandchildren are taking the VMG Plus. They just put it in, our daughter just splits it depending on their age. And they also take an omega, which I'm so delighted about. They actually chew it. You can bite into that omega and they suck all the oil out. It tastes like oranges. So they love taking it and then they just spit out the outside. Um, Sometimes I add some of my other favorite oils, excuse me, and supplements at the same time. So I'm done. Like in 2 minutes, I'm done for the day. Sorry. Okay, so you don't have to take our word for any of this. Bear with us for one more geeky science slide, but this is really powerful. So, recent clinical study trial with 84, let me say that again. There's a recent clinical trial with 84 participants, okay, over a 3 month period, and they took these three products together. Okay, these were the results. Vitamin B12 blood levels increased by 20 to 25%, which is remarkable because B12 is one of the hardest nutrients for our body to absorb, and most supplements don't move the needle at all. Thyroid function improved with measurable changes in TSH and T4 levels. Hemoglobin and A1C decreased, a key marker for metabolic health and diabetes risk, and measurable improvements in cognitive performance, information processing, attention, and decision making. So, in plain terms, there was more energy, clearer thinking, better metabolic health, and a body that's actually working for you. So, that is exactly what I experienced. I started on the foundational wellness, and I was actually quite skeptical. My friend had invited me to a class just like this, and I thought I am on, even though I was not feeling great and I was struggling in those areas, I thought I'm on medical grade supplements. I can't do better than what I'm taking. But I came to the class, and the price point was so good, I could not try it. I had to try it. And so I could afford to get a bundle for myself and for Mike. Now, Mike is Mr. Positive. And so the first day he took it, he's like, I can feel a difference. I can go up and down the steps. And I'm like, yeah, right. Well, he really could feel a difference. I was so skeptical. Even though I was beginning to feel better, I was not about to admit it. But after 2 weeks, I could not deny I can actually feel a difference with these supplements. Now, what we did, all the supplements that I had from my doctor, I just set aside and I didn't take any of those because I wanted to see what I was really feeling. And I really was feeling a difference. And so it has been life-giving for us. My within, so let's see, I would say within 4 months, I was sleeping better. My neuropathy completely cleared up, has not ever come back. I had my stamina increased, so now I can actually exercise and not have to take a nap. That's such a blessing, right? And my brain fog has cleared up. I can actually think clearly, and my memory returned. So I've been like so happy. That's just the beginning of the results that I had, though. But I was wondering, Becky, do you want to share anything here, Becky, on any of the testimony and what you've had in using these products? I'm kind of putting her on the spot here. So if you want to unmute, though, and share a little bit, we'd love to hear from you.
I was trying to find the mute. I think Mike had muted. So hi. Um, I will try to speak kindly, but I had known Judy from a previous experience, and I hit menopause. We are about 10 or 11 years apart, her and I, and even though I look young, thank you. So does she, by the way. And all of a sudden, I started having all these things happen. And if I had one more doctor say, oh, well, that's menopause, I was going to be arrested for throat punching someone. So my symptoms were, I mean, of course, as we age, I did start having like the 2 o'clock in the middle of the night, morning bathroom break. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the flipping and the flopping and the restlessness and the hard to go to sleep, which I have never had in my entire life. The afternoon slope of tired and exhausted. I had $400 to $500 worth of high quality supplements just to support everything that was. I do have 3 autoimmune diseases, in addition to arthritis and all sorts of, it's a fun package over here. And so I got desperate whenever my gut, colon, we'll say, I'm trying to be gentle in mixed company, said halt. And I went, mm-mm. So I would think I was in tears. I reached out. Judy had moved from, I'll just say Norwax, our previous friends, my friend, her, and she had said, "Hey Becky, I'm over here. Let me know." I've been a long time user of doTERRA oils. I love doTERRA oils. I was already in full feet in, and I called her crying, and she said, "Let's set up a meeting." And I said, "What's wrong with me?" And she's like, "I don't know, but let's see what we can do." And so I literally set aside, I don't know, all of my supplements, because I am the most skeptical, disbelieving person you will ever meet. And I said, let's see. And I put all of my supplements aside, and I tried these 3 things for 30 days. And I was like, no way, no way. And then I tried for 60 days, and then I tried for 90 days. And this is a part of my regular morning routine, in addition to, how do I say Copabola? Capi.
Oh, yeah. Well, I say Copaiba because that's the easy way.
Okay. So, but I was adding that as an oil into my water prior to putting in my VMG. And I had already done some research on the greens. I'd already know, by the way, it's vitamins, minerals, greens plus. And I'd already done some research, and I was like, okay. So I said, let's do it. Let's set it aside. I was spending much less to do this. And then I was 60 days. Next thing you know, I was 6 months in, and I was like, I had already packaged up all my other supplements and put them away. They were gone. I see an autoimmune and arthritis doctor. One of my illnesses is lupus. I've had it since I was 12 years old. And I see her on every 3 months. And she was like, huh, your blood work's improving. What are you doing? Now, she had wanted me to be on iron. Girls, we don't like iron. I don't know if men like iron or not. Girls, we don't like iron. Iron slows things down. And so I had refused. I did like a liquid mineral line iron. I was trying every avenue to not do medical grade iron. And all of a sudden she goes, "Oh, you finally started taking your iron supplement." And I said, "Well, I didn't. Let me tell you what I did." And she says, "Well, keep doing that. Let's do another round of blood work." 3 months later, we did another round of blood work. So in the meantime, my doctor retired, and I had to find a new doctor. That's painful when you have an autoimmune doctor for so long. So turns out I was switched to the director of the Lupus Foundation in Pittsburgh, who I saw in December and I just saw in June. And she says, "Well, you look great. Your blood work is overwhelming. I'm not sure what you're doing, but could you keep doing that? I'll see you in 6 months."
That's
I've never
awesome.
had a 6-month follow-up since I was 12.
That's awesome, Becky. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. That's
Yeah, that just
amazing.
happened. And so yeah, and of course if I need her, she will see me. But I said, "Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing." And I was like, "This." And she's like, "Can I see that?" And I gave her everything she needed. And she says, "I have 0 issues with this. Keep doing that. We'll talk about it more." And I was like, "Okay." So, and I also wanted to show now the belly issue. I never had belly issues before. So when my menopause brought me the belly issues, and that's why I called Judy crying, we did take a few supplements in that initial 30 days, and that I haven't gone back to. Actually, probably could do a 1-year reset. I think I'm at a year, Judy.
Yeah,
But
it's amazing.
this little guy, if she's talking about the dual purpose pill, see how it has the oil and the powder, and it's going through different parts of your body and releasing what it needs. I have had that issue twice in the last year.
Wow.
Twice. I almost
That,
took myself to the hospital. Ask my friends on here. I don't go to the hospital because I was like, this is a problem. Twice in 1 year. So, and now actually less and less and less and less. But so that's my story. It's not necessarily a pretty one, but it is a functional one. I have not gone back to my because of my lupus and other autoimmune issues, my doctor is very specific about iron, D, and B. I have not gone back to those. These three products have supplemented. I did supplement a little bit of D in the winter, and that was enough. And then she said, "Okay, go back." That's it. So
That's
for this, you're going to say the price point, but for $149, I am doing what I was doing for $400 and $500 a month.
Yeah, us too. So 149 for each of us.
Yeah. And I didn't think about taking it out of my food budget, Judy. You should have told me that before.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my story.
I mean, we just figured a way for us to pay for it. And then, we were so happy with our results that we decided to do it as a business. So thank you so much for sharing, Becky. I'm so encouraged. I'm so encouraged by that. And these are like really great results, but they're not unusual. So this is what we're seeing. So let me just move on here. So this is the Essential Foundations Kit. Okay, so let's just talk about what starting looks like. You're going to have lots of different options, and we're always super sensitive to somebody's budget. Okay. Now, the Essential Foundations Kit is designed for real homes. It's not for a perfect home. It's not for influencers. It's for real people where life shows up at 2 a.m. and you want to be ready. It just happened with my grandson. I was so grateful that I had my oils with me. So this bundle includes your foundational wellness supplements. That's the VMG Plus, the Omegas, and the PB Restore. And then it also has a family essentials kit also. This is the top 10 oils that every home needs, and you're getting the best natural medicine from all over the world. And plus the foundational support that your body needs. Okay, the savings on this kit is $68 when you open up an account. Membership in doTERRA is just like a Costco account, right? So you're going to get a 25% discount for a whole year. There's no minimums to order. You become a wholesale customer. It also gets you the education. We have a wonderful wellness community and ongoing support from us. And it's not just products, okay? We support you all along the way. And this is your starting place. It's not your entire journey. Once your foundation is solid, then you're naturally going to notice what's next. You think about maybe some targeted solutions, like maybe sleep support or stress support. We have excellent products for anxiety that work really well and really fast. Sometimes you need seasonal support for allergies, or maybe you have metabolic goals. We're here to help you personalize along the way. And so that's what we call natural intelligence. That's supporting the body. It's removing what it's working against it and adding what strengthens it. Okay. And you're going to refine along the way. So if you look at this garden, so earlier we talked about toxicity as one of the two root causes of disease. Foundational wellness fills nutritional gaps beautifully, but what about the buildup that's been accumulating for years? That's what I had. Okay, think of planting the best seeds in a garden full of weeds. Okay, and the soil is hard, the seeds are good, but the conditions aren't ready yet. Our bodies work the same way. So just like you regularly change the oil and filters in your car, sometimes your body needs maintenance too. And let me just show you here the 90-day reset. So I was on the foundational wellness for about 4 months when I listened, like I said, our doTERRA has 18 doctors and scientists on staff. And one of the doctors did a class for our team on autoimmune and thyroid. Well, that was me. I had celiac, Hashimoto thyroid disease, and asthma. And in this class, he said autoimmune could be healed. Well, I had never heard that before. And so he gave us a protocol. It's a 90-day reset. And I did it. It's 3 separate months. And month 1, you're going to prepare your body to go into month 2, which is a very, very gentle cleanse. And in month 1, you need to make sure that it does include the VMG Plus, the Omegas, the PB Restore, and then just 2 other products. And you want to make sure that everything's working well. All your organs are working well. I also want to make sure you're having a bowel movement at least twice a day, 1 to 2 times every day. And that is so that when you go into the cleanse portion, when you're removing the toxins are actually coming out of your body. Okay, so I did this. I did the 90-day reset. I did it imperfectly, honestly, over 90 days. And I had phenomenal results. I could really feel the difference. And I'm just going to fast forward to the following January. So a year later, I had my blood work done with my doctor, and she looked at it. All my markers were excellent. And she looked at it and she said, your Hashimoto's are gone. All the markers for Hashimoto's were gone. I was like, what? So I had already taken myself off of my asthma medication because I didn't need it anymore. My asthma was gone. And it was not allergy induced. I didn't have anything that was exercise induced. Excuse me. And so when she said I didn't have Hashimoto's anymore, then within 3 months, with her guidance, I was completely off of my thyroid meds. And now I just use essential oils to support my thyroid. I have celiac disease, and my gut has healed to the point that I'm no longer sensitive to cross contamination, and I can occasionally have some wheat. I can eat sourdough, my daughter's sourdough bread that she makes. I still stay gluten free as a choice, and I do still have celiac, so I'm not freely eating wheat. But I've just had phenomenal results with this. And so I think anyone who even has, I probably have more severe stuff than most people do, that you're going to have good results with this. But we can talk about the 90-day reset more in depth and detail after the class. So here's like could be your next step with everything we've shared. Like you have lots of choices. And just the foundational wellness you can see on the screen is an excellent place to start. It's $149.50 a month. And then you can add in the Family Essentials kit, or, the better would be the Essential Foundations, which would be the supplements and the oils, but the very best would be starting with the 90-day reset. I think everyone should do that at least once a year, which is what Mike and I have done since then. So, there's some very simple places for you guys to start. And what will happen after this class is whoever invited you to this class is going to reach out, and we will schedule a wellness consult privately, to tomorrow or the next day on Zoom, and we'll just be able to answer your questions privately, and then help you decide where to start. Okay, so I just feel like we live in a world chasing artificial solutions. AI is so popular and everything, you see it everywhere. But the answer has honestly never been simpler. Nature provides, our body responds. Okay, when you bring these tools into your home, you're not just buying products. And I think that's why I love so much is the purpose behind this. We're actually reclaiming confidence. We're simplifying our options. We're choosing to trust our body's intelligence. And you will find that as you start using the essential oils, a lot of it's intuitive. You'll be drawn to a certain oil. And I just love that it gives what we need to thrive. So we don't have to have it all figured out right now. We just have to have a starting place. Okay, so that is all we have for tonight. Do we have any questions let me just go ahead and stop this, and I'll get out of stop sharing. Do we have any questions that I can answer in the chat, or any comments that I could go over? Any questions anybody has before we jump off? Really appreciate everyone being here, everyone who invited guests. Thank you, John and Jennifer. I really like this presentation. I like the information that it gives. It's a lot. I know it's a lot, and it can be overwhelming. But any questions? Great. Good, Priscilla. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Good. Okay. Give you just a second if anybody wants to. I want to rush out of here.
Just as a comment was, Nellie has a sister who's dealing with pain, and if we can set up a call together and talk through with her if she's open to that, Ellie, and see what we can recommend that would help in that situation. So,
Yeah. Okay, I just realized that this has gone really long. It was supposed to be 45 minutes. It was not 45 minutes. I'm very sorry. Sorry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.
okay.
Um,